everybody, it's Emily at ARG Schooling, and today I thought we would do a finished bullet journal flip. So this is my 2024 bullet journal. Technically I have a few more days before I'm finished, but for all intents and purposes, this is the end of my journaling year. So I'm already started working on my 2025 journal, but I thought we could go ahead and look at what my completed journal looks like. Okay, so my first page here is my title page, where I had this really cool sticker I got from Nightworms and my words of the year: fearless and intentional. Then I always start with my year at a glance. I've done this same setup for I think 3 years now. I've changed it up a little bit for this year, but it's basically the same concept where I have my whole year kind of plotted out, and then on this side I have notes about appointments or important things to remember that I can put in ahead of time. And then on this page I have my reading goals. I had set it for 120, so basically I just fill in a little block every time I read a book, and I color coded it by month. And then down here is the book count, where it's like a little bar graph to see how many books I read in a month. You can see my October was a little off the rails. That was the beginning of the civils season, so I was reading a whole lot of middle grade. Over here I kept track of the books we read for book club and my ratings, which you can see sometimes I changed as the months went on. I keep track of new releases all year so that I can pay attention to when things are coming out. This is where I track pre-orders, but also where I track arcs that I'm reading or just books that are on my radar. Maybe I'll read them, maybe I won't, but I just like to keep track of when everything's coming out. So I highlight the ones that I have read. And I like this setup. I've done this a couple of times too, and I think this is just the easiest way for me to keep track of everything. I did an arc tracker this year, and I do not like how I did it, and I will not be doing that again going forward. It just was really hard to manage because I kept adding other things and having to erase and move things around and start over, and it just got unwieldy. So that is not something I plan to do again. And you can see I kind of gave up halfway through. And over here is where I keep track of my 12 recommendations from 12 friends. So because I was pulling them out of a jar, I just had empty boxes here at the beginning of the year, and I would fill them in as I went, so that each month when I would pull a book and read it, I would then write it in here with the star rating. My book bracket is still unfinished because December hasn't ended and I haven't decided. So I need to do that and figure out my favorite of the year based on this, because I still don't know. I don't know. What is my favorite book of December? I have no idea. I still have 5 or 6 more days to read, but eventually I will have an answer and I will let you know. And so this is my TBR tracker, and I really liked this, and I will probably do this again in some format. Maybe it'll be just the same as this one. I don't know. But this is where every month I pull a card out of my TBR jar, and it helps me to decide what to read based on my shelves. So it's like a way to help me read my shelves. And while it looks like I did phenomenal, the last 3 months I only read Sybil's, or that was the main focus, was books that were nominated for Sybil's because I was a judge. So I didn't really do a TBR jar at all those months, and I also skipped the TBR jar here because I wanted to do a catch-up. So I only completed a few of them, but it's a good system and I think I'll keep doing it. I also did a reading stats. I liked this, but I wanted to expand on it, and you'll see that in my 2025 journal. But this is basically just a way for me to keep track of stats, like how many audiobooks did I listen to in a month, how many ebooks did I read, how many books did I actually read from my personal collection, how many library books, how many ARCs, how many books did I give 5 stars, did I DNF anything, did I do any rereads, how many new releases did I read, how many books did I purchase. So like there's more things that I want to keep track of, but that's a good start. Over here on this page, I had my buzzword reading challenge, which I completed. Go me. I was so proud. I gave up on this the last 2 years when I tried to do it. I just didn't keep up with it, and so I was really determined this year that I was going to complete all of my challenges. And I almost did. There's only one challenge I think I started this year that I did not complete, and that was the reading 1 graphic novel each month, because I just couldn't keep up with that. But I did pretty well. Here's my 2024 Build Your Library Reading Challenge. I wrote out all the prompts on the sides, and then every time I read something, I would write it in here and check it off. And I completed this as of yesterday, Christmas Day. I was so proud of myself. I was getting nervous that I was going to get stuck on those last 2 prompts. I was sitting on a book with time in the title and a book about the space race because I just like was not in the mood for any of the things I owned that had time in the title, and I was struggling to find a book about the space race to read, and so I ended up reading Once Upon a Time I Lived on Mars, which fit both of those prompts. I was so excited when I found it. So that was completed. Okay, so this year I did a go take a walk tracker, because I wanted to start exercising, and I thought walks would be the best way to go about that. And so this was like specifically for walks. And did I do great? I think I did. It's not perfect. I didn't take a walk every single day, but like I did take a lot of walks. And I went from, in January, only being able to go for like half a mile to, in the end of the year, I can go almost 4 miles. So I think that's huge. I did great. I'm happy with my progress. But I did start doing more other exercise. Like midway through the year, I really did start feeling like I could handle more exercise. So I think in this year's journal, I'm going to have like an exercise tracker instead of just taking walks. Because I really need the accountability of like seeing my progress on paper. So I really liked this, but I'm going to do something with like more exercise. And then my health tracker I'm changing up in 2025 as well, because I've been doing this for years. And while it's somewhat useful, I still feel like it's not an accurate depiction, because I gave myself like a list of things, but like some things were harder to track. And I'm like, okay, well, technically I'm not having any like IBS or IBD symptoms. I'm not on my period. I don't have a headache, but like I don't feel well, but I'm not feverish. So like, how do I track that? So I don't know. I need to figure something out, because it's not as accurate as I would like it to be. I have green for a lot of days where I'm like, that's not really what I'm feeling, but I didn't give myself another color, and I don't really even know what to call that. Like, and I don't even know what it is, but sometimes I just don't feel right. Or like, what about like bad anxiety days? How do I track that? What about like, I don't even know. Perimenopause has just kind of destroyed me. So I need to figure out a better way to track my health. So I'm going to do some research and look at what other people do and see if I can figure something out. And then I have my reading log, which actually I didn't give myself enough pages. So I gave myself 4, and I thought surely 4 pages ought to do, but I still ran out of space. I got to like, I think 164 books before I had to stop tracking here. But I've actually read 174 books. So this is not accurate because I ran out of space, and I thought about cutting out like a blank page and having it taped in and flipped in and out. I don't know. I got nervous. I was afraid of ruining my journal. It's fine. I'll just add an extra page or 2 for next year. And then I have my DNF Graveyard, which surprisingly few DNFs, although it's not entirely accurate. And because I didn't track the DNFs from Sybil's, because when you're a Sybil's judge, you have to read like a whole lot in a very short period of time, and I needed to read like a quarter or a third of a book sometimes before I was like, no, this is not it. And then I'd move on to another book. I didn't track those. So if I did, I would have filled this and then some, but I was only really tracking things that I picked up for myself, for like my personal enjoyment or arcs that I got or things. So very few DNFs though. I'm kind of impressed. And then on to my monthly pages. I'm just going to show you like very briefly the like first page, because really they're all the same, more or less, just different stickers and things. But my spreads all look like this. I give myself the calendar, dates to remember, TBR, video plans, and my monthly favorites. And then I have my daily checklist pages. I keep track of what I plan on reading in a week and like check off what I actually get through. And that is the same for every month. I have my moments that made me smile, TV and movies that I watched, and my completed reads. So that is the same every single month. This is February. I kept track of middle grade March. If there's a readathon, I try to include it here. March looks very similar, just like I said, different stickers. April. May came out really pretty. I liked May. It just felt very springy. June. July. I have my Summerween spread here. August. September. I really love how my October spread came out. Like, how cute is this? I was so proud of my font writing. Like, I've been really trying to come up with like different fonts and things to add. November. And December. I really wish I could have fixed this. It was so cute, and then I realized it was slanting and it got a little smudged, but like I like how it came out overall. I think I've really improved at my font writing, my handwriting and stuff. And then in the back, I just have like tons and tons of like lists and things, like books I want to review for History Book by Book, video ideas. I had every book I purchased, like lists of arcs, lists of recipes that I wanted to try, things I'm going to put in my next bullet journal. And then I always end up with a good chunk of empty pages. But that's it. That is my completed 2024 journal. I save these. I don't know what I think I need to save them for, but I save them. Maybe I'll look back on them someday. Maybe my kids will find them interesting, or my grandchildren, who knows. So anyway, there you go. That is my completed journal. I'm very excited to get my 2025 journal going because I have so many ideas and things that I want to do, and it'll just be really fun to pull it all together. So I'll be filming that flip through very soon when it is finished. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Happy reading. Bye.